and be as gobsmacked as I am, wild ones. It's Bernadette, and I'm here for your kooky pick-a-card daily tarot reading for Wednesday, March 24th, 2021. And as I'm just going to get all my housekeeping out of the way because I don't even know if I can hold it together through this reading. So, just FYI, if you're just joining us, welcome! Welcome to the madness. And for all of you longtime subscribers, thank you so very much. Please, this is a call for you all to remember that my Kickstarter for my new book begins on April 1st, a 700-page book with 300 in-depth descriptions of spirit, totem, and power animals, way more than any other book in the whole world that I could find, and believe me, I looked. And it's got chapters in there on shadow work and using sigils and talisman and how to create ritual and ceremony and oh my gosh, just anything. I don't know why I didn't think about it before. I just decided I'm going to put sample interpretations in the book. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. I'm so excited. I'm working on that chapter now. So I'll put the link when Kickstarter hits me back up and says, yeah, you're approved, which they'll do because of the ARC, you know. And for those of you who don't know, I do read from my own deck, which is the award-winning, history-making Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Get you one. They're fabulous. And so I can't stall any longer, y'all. I gotta go right into this reading because there's so much to unpack. Okay, so if you're learning to be a tarot reader or a psychic tarot reader or whatever, or you already are one, I don't know what you all think when a card comes out and you're shuffling the deck and you've set an intention. And of course, my intention is always is the messages that are best for the collective. You know, at this moment in this dimension, and yes, in this dimension, because when you go into an altered state of being, I don't know if you believe in multi-dimensions. I do. And so I believe if you don't set the intention to get the message for right now in this dimension, you may dimension hop and you may be getting perfectly accurate information, but it may be for another time in another place. So I always set that intention. And also remember, the theme of this week is that we're working on getting rid of our perfection complexes, right? And we're working on removing those blocks of shame and fear and whatever that useless, needless attachment we have to being perfect doesn't impede us from living the life that we want to live and accomplishing what we want to accomplish, right? Okay, so when a card comes out to me like this, I always see it as, well, based on whatever card it is, this person's got a decision to make and they're on the fence. And y'all, today is Wednesday. It's the bridge day. It's the day between the first part of the week and the next part of the week. My gosh, this is a perfect card to come out for today. So, you know, Cassowary has come up before, but this is the first time that a card has just landed, you know, just like this to y'all. And then, oh, you know, the other thing I do, and I don't remember which way it came down, but I always associate whichever way is which. So like if the head is facing my left side, that's the feminine energy. If the bottom of the card is facing the right, that's the male energy. And I'll see if that works into it. So there are a lot of different clues that I listen for and I look for when spirit is you know, sending me messages, right? Okay. So this y'all, for those of you who don't know me, I was in the entertainment business. I did stand-up comedy for a long time, and my mind always goes to the jokes, but there's some really serious stuff in here today. But it's about subjects that make, you know, people sometimes uncomfortable. But I promised, when I started down this journey, I made a promise to the animal kingdom that just like they rarely experience shame that we know of, and usually it's when they're around humans or being scolded by humans or whatever. And you know, everything is just natural to them. So that's the tack I'm really going to try to take with this reading. But please know, it's taking every ounce of self-control I have because the jokes are just flying. So to jump right in there, let me just say this. The first thing is, there is something about the heaviness of cassowaries. You know, they're distantly related to emus and ostriches. They can weigh 150 pounds, but y'all, they can jump 7 feet. I mean, lift that, you know, hoist that heft right on up there at 7 feet, y'all. So whatever is heavy around your heart, around your mind, even in your body, if you're feeling sluggish or you just, feeling bloated or just weighed down by anything, it's time to shake that off. It's time to purge it. It's time to heal it. It's time to get rid of it, because you are in a place where you're trying to decide, and maybe that's the heaviness is, are you going to jump this way or are you going to jump that way? And that can be with a situation, with something for yourself. It can be with your finances. It can be with a relationship of any kind. Maybe you're thinking about exiting a relationship or entering a relationship, so on and so forth. But it's time for you to shake off the heaviness and make a decision. Now, that being said, let me say this. This is not an easy decision that you all are trying to make. It's just not. And I know that because I was shown a cassowary's wings and I was told to peek up under the wing. I've never been told that before by cassowary, right? So I peeked up under the wing and I saw claws and I was like, what? And then I looked it up on Mental Floss. You guys know my enduring obsession with mentalfloss.com. And sure enough, and I'm sure I read this at some point. I can't 100% say that was a vision this morning, as much as it might have been something from my subconscious that I once upon a time knew. And the reason I say that is this old boy, lives about a half an hour from me in Gainesville, Florida. God love him, 80-something-year-old man. I don't know what the heck he was doing with a cassowary as a pet, but he went in that pen a few years ago, and that cassowary stomped him to death. It surely did. And I'm sorry for him, but a cassowary is not a pet. So most animals are not pets. Pets, don't get me started. But I then knew that this decision was this isn't like, should I have, skim milk in my latte or should I go for the gusto and have whole milk? This is like for real, because the claws are hidden. And what that tells me is you've got to decide whether you're going to reveal your claws and use them, or you're going to keep them hidden away and use them at the more appropriate moment, or are you just going to reach out and hook whatever that is and either make it sit up and take note, or just snatch it and drag it towards you. There are any variety of things that you could use a claw for, but the fact that it's hidden under wings, and hidden under feathers, that's a big deal. So I take a look at that, and I would caution you that whatever this is, it may not seem like a big decision at the moment, but I had a dream on Saturday night. Now I'm gonna reveal something that I think maybe only 3 people in the world know. Everybody I know that I talk to about spirit, totem, and power animals, they have dreams of animals all the time. I don't. But the dreams that I've had are so real that I wake up looking for, one time it was a bear. I'm telling you, I know exactly what it feels like to sit with a bear, with my back up against a bear and the bear reaching around with those big claws to hold my hand. I know what it's like. With my friend Catherine Skaggs, I did a journey with her one time when she was teaching a class here in Florida. I can tell you what it's like to be a dolphin. I can tell you what it's like to dive to those depths and be able to swim that fast and be underwater, because I merged with that dolphin. And there have only been a few other times, but on Saturday night, I had a dream that I was in an airplane and we were going just fine and everybody was happy. And I mean, it was like it was just a great flight. And I'm terrified of flying for many, many good reasons. But the windows were open. So, and it was a beautiful day outside and we were all just kind of hanging out. And here comes this ginormous, my favorite color of orange, butterfly. This thing had to be this big, like a crow or a raven, or not as big as an owl, but I mean big. And I noticed it out of the corner of my eye, and I turned around, and one of my best friends was sitting behind me, and he looked and he said, "Hey, I think that butterfly's for you." And I went, and so I stuck my hand out the window, and that butterfly landed pretty as you please right here, turned its face towards me, flapped its wings, settled them in, did that, and then I brought it in, and we just had us a little conversation. So listen, butterflies portend of all kinds of things, change, emerging from, cocoon to this, to that. And there is a tremendous amount of change going on in my life right now, but I know that it's going on for you all as well, because we discuss it on gatheringofmystics.com, which, by the way, if you haven't joined it, please go join gatheringofmystics.com. They're my personal private forums. They're safe. They're moderated. The people there, oh my gosh, the wild ones, you guys are fantastic. We're all already learning from each other, having fun. It's just amazing. So gatheringofmystics.com, you'll see it right there. I keep a little banner up at all times. And so I know that great change is coming for you all as well. And what that has to do with is this. Cassowaries can eat 70 pounds of excrement a day. When they poo, they half of it can be undigested fruit, which is mainly what they eat. Occasionally they eat meat, but mostly they eat fruit. So they eat each other's excrement and indeed their own. Well, I'm pretty sure we've all heard the saying, eat SH bank bank, or eat SH bank bank and die, or some, which is horrible, which is, some iteration of that, right? Careful before you break out those claws, because you may end up doing exactly that, your own or someone else's. Also, you may use the claws to have someone else eat that, because sometimes people need a wake-up call, if that's what you believe, if that's how you handle things. I'm not passing an opinion anyway at all. You've got to decide what's right for you, which is why Cassowary came in this way. Now, let me give you a case in point. There is a company that I think I would like to acquire, and I've been in touch with the owners, and they sent me, what they wanted for this company. And I wrote them back and said, I'm still interested, and kindly send over your NDA. Once it's signed, I'll take a look at 5 years of P&Ls. That's how you acquire a company. You just don't willy-nilly show up and write somebody a check because they asked for the money. That's it. They ghosted. Haven't heard from them. Now, I'm not making any assumptions. A lot of different things could be going on. I suspect they didn't care for that. That's what I suspect. I don't know that. I don't have all of the facts. So I'm not willing to make a move or make a decision. I'm sitting right here on the fence where you all are, right? Okay. Should they ghost? Should they simply stop communicating at all? I would then have to make a decision on how I want to handle that. Bernadette will handle it this way. There won't be any more communication from me. I'll check in once. Hope you're okay. Did you get the email? So on and so forth. Don't hear back from them. We're gone. We're done. Because it's not worth it. There's no upside to breaking out these. There's just no upside to it. And there's no upside in doing what a lot of people would do, which is, I hope you understand blah, 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 or just so you know, this hurt my blah, 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 blah. You'd be surprised how many business people do that. I've been in business a long time, y'all, and it flummoxes me every time someone does that. And this is something that I bring up, and here's why. For me, acquiring this company is not about just having another leg to my business. Would that be cool? Yeah, it would. But here's the thing. This business helps a lot of people in the business, and it also helps tens of thousands of people who use the service of this business. I am perfectly qualified to shepherd that thing. I am perfectly qualified to do it. It would be safe in my hands, in my company's hands. Don't know who they're going to sell it to. Don't know if they will sell it. But for me, they may, or when I think of it, I'm wondering if they're considering their clients and then the clients of their clients. They might be. I don't know. They may have found another buyer that offered them 10 times that amount. I don't have the information, don't know, so I'm just being quiet. But the reason that I go into this is that butterfly landing on my hand in an airplane during this dream. I know that it was for the collective. I know it was. And what that means is when you tie this into the butterfly in an airplane dreams are about flying high and rising above circumstances and elevating yourself. Now, if they're crashing or they're burning, obviously that's a different thing. But we were all just having a jolly good old time, right? Helping ourselves to the bar and the whole 9 yards. It was fantastic. And we brought our own food on the plane, which was even better. So there's change coming. And you know that when you make this decision, it's going to bring change. But be very careful that you are taking a moment to consider what the butterfly effect of your actions to break out the hidden clause or not to break out the hidden clause. You might end up eating that word, sh, donk donk. You other person might end up donk donk. All of those things and more. What is the upside of that? What is the butterfly effect of that? Now, one other thing. It should be noted that both the male and the female of cassowaries have what are called a pseudopenis. Yes, YouTube, I had to say it because it is anatomically true. Now, I have that pseudo organ is not connected to any of their other reproductive organs, and I will tell you, I don't know if I haven't been able to find anything that says along with that pseudo appendage, do they have the other paraphernalia that comes with it, right? And having been accused many, many times of having big brass ones myself, I will tell you that is a pseudo organ. It's not the real deal. So before you butch up against someone and decide whether you're going to use your claws or not, remember that on both the male and female cassowary, it's not the real deal organ. It's a fake one. So don't let your mouth write checks that your body can't cash, right? Okay. So finally, last week was the week of critters with appendages at the top of their heads. And lo and behold, here we go with cassowary. And scientists have absolutely no idea why that's there. So what it is a bone protrusion, and then it's got a sheath of keratin over it, which is the same thing your fingernails are made out of. Some scientists think that they use it to get their way through the brush. Some scientists think it's a courting thing, that they are, they appear sexier to, other cassowary. Okay. But if you don't understand how to use a tool, don't use it. And this is specifically for you all that are out there trying to teach yourself tarot, pendulums, runes, psychic work, mediumship work, ghost hunting. Somebody wrote me the other day about would I promote them for being a person that goes into people's houses and gets rid of demons? No. No. And we'll talk about that on another day, because no. So all of that said, and it's not that I don't think they exist, but there's a science around it, which has to do with thought forms becoming real. Let me just say that. But before you bonk your head into something, before you use a tool that you don't really understand what it's for or what the ramifications might be, do yourself a favor and find out, and I'll tell you the biggest reason. That might sound super negative, but I assure you it is the most positive thing somebody's going to tell you about learning anything in divination for probably the next year of your life, and here's why. If I had a nickel for every student that just went too many places too early, got scared, got confused, and went, oh, this is not for me, man, I don't know. I'd live on my own island somewhere. So that's a shame, because most of them would have made very fine readers and healers. And the world always needs more good, ethical, accurate, evidential readers and healers. And I'm telling you, y'all, I have taught a lot of classes in my life of many different kinds. And I mean tens of thousands of different kinds of students at this point. And I can tell from the message boards on my forums, but for sure for the last, 6 or 7 months, I've been able to tell. That's one of the biggest reasons I opened the forums. That and all the censorship on the social media platforms. No. So I noticed that you all that are here, those of you that love animals and advocate for animals, you're special people. Everybody's special, but there is something extra about y'all that just is, God, it's beautiful. And I'm so honored to be a part of it. And so don't scare yourself. Don't quit before you ask a question. Come into the forums, ask the questions here on YouTube. I'm so happy to answer them, because now more than ever in history, the world needs good, accurate, ethical psychic mediums, tarot readers, rune flippers, what at all it needs you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Please, 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 please remember, just say it like a mantra, April 1st, April 1st, April 1st. And the reason, that I'm doing this during April is prevention, my Kickstarter. April is Prevention of Animal Cruelty Month, and April 1st is the same as flipping the Fool card, and it's all about new beginnings, and it's all about taking a leap of faith and all of that kind of thing. So also join gatheringofmystics.com. But as always, what are the most important things? To do good for animals and stay wild.